morning, Cold City. Thanks for joining us on the Spotlight segment of our show. And today on the Spotlight shall be a senior colleague in the profession, but Nigerian Union of Journalists Enugu State Council Chairman, Comrade Sam Udekwe. The Lion, glad to have you on the show.
Thank you, Ngozika. Thank you, Chioma.
Our focus shall be on the viability of 615,000 naira as a minimum wage for Nigerian workers as proposed by the NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress. Around May 1, during the Workers' Day celebration, the NLC proposed, ahead of the conclusion of negotiations with the Nigerian government, that the minimum wage for a Nigerian worker should be 615,000 naira. What is the current minimum wage, Comrade?
We have 30,000 naira as the current minimum wage, and we are proposing this. You know,
what informed this decision, this proposal?
Your guess is as good as mine. You see, since how many years when this one came on board, you've seen multiple inflationary trend. You know, moving prices, moving from this to that, and you can see, if you work it out proportionately, you see that a 30,000 naira about 4 years ago, that was in 2020 or 2019. If you work it out, what it should be today, even the 615,000 naira, the NLC is being considerate of the economic crunch. Otherwise, if it is done well, the 615,000 naira minimum wage is not big enough. What can take the Nigerian worker home, what the person takes home, and takes care of all the responsibilities that are there in the face of this Nigeria of today. So
I know that the argument is really around what a political office holder takes home as against what the minimum lowest remuneration that employers of people in the private and the public sector take home. If you keep them at par, you see that it looks like this one is servitude, what the average worker takes. I think that's where that argument is emanating from. But we saw the NLC try to partition this, and in their own argument, food and transport take the lion's share. For a Nigerian worker, an average worker in Nigeria, is it just about food and transportation? Is that all we have to care about?
Not at all. We have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to take care of. Food and transportation are just, they are not even the basic. They are not just the basic. Food is basic, transportation also. What of, what is it called, shelter? You know what it takes to even rent one room apartment in the city to live where you work. You know what it takes. And clothing. You have children that are in schools, you take care of school fees, because this hike does not pay the educational fees. Fees are also hiked. So there are so many things the Nigerian worker is there to take care of, and if you talk 650,000 naira, people see it as huge by the number. But if you look at the value of Nigerian naira, you see that it's nothing to write home about.
Now, the viability now. Do you see this as working out?
Okay.
Who can states pay? Can the federal, even if the federal government approves of it, do you see it as being sustainable?
Feasibility of it is quite clear. If actually we have the political way to execute what we want to do for the citizenry. the flow of that naira that has fallen to this thing, if to this level now, if you see the bulk of the naira we have, and you look at 615,000 naira and the weakness of this naira, you see that it is feasible. It has been taken care of. We've looked at it very well, what the states can do. It was brought down to what the states can do. It is not hung at where it is just possible for the federal government, though. That's what the committee has looked at. I mean, the labor, from the labor side, we looked at it. It's not a question of after the negotiations, the states will say they are going home to think what will be feasible for them to pay. When did it even start, this salary dichotomy, federal state? Was it not just 1990 during the military administration? Before then, every worker at the same level, they take home
the same amount.
Federal and state. But at a point, the military junta came and took a decision what will be very favorable to their colleagues at the state level, the MILAD, the military administrators. And when they continued it, they saw the sweetness, as it were, that oh, we are giving this like a blank check to go home and take a decision. And naturally, they took a decision where they will have a lot of leftovers to go back to go to their private purses, and they continued enjoying it. And that thing transited into democratic rule in 1999 because of that joy derived from it by the governors when they came, even as civilian governors. They didn't want to go back to the reality again, because the reality is that there's provision for these things in whatever they are bringing as allocation, and the IGR can take care of the workers the way at the state level, the way it is applicable at the federal level. Yes.
Do you foresee a time, because you mentioned it, let's just talk about it. Do you foresee a time where this dichotomy will be straightened? Or are you also championing that those who work at the federal and the state, whatever level, take the same salary?
I foresee, because I also foresee overall change, holistic change of the system, because it's going to work along with the change of the system totally. If the way our politicians see governance changes from what it is today, if governance is about the people, if governance is about development, what will make the society better, yes, when they begin to think that way, it is going to change, and it's going to go back to those days.
But is the organized labor championing this, that those who are at the same level, both at the states and at the federal government, at the central, that they receive the same? Do you champion this? Do you make efforts to see it straightened?
Yeah, of course, because even the organized labor is never in their plan, is never in their arrangement to dichotomize the salaries to workers.
Okay.
It is not in the arrangement. The arrangement is not even an arrangement. Is a coercion by the state governors. As we are speaking now, as the committee is on, this salary negotiation committee is on deciding what to be the minimum wage. The governors, the Nigerian Governors Forum, they are busy scheming on what to do to change, to do certain things, to give them that latitude to go and take their respective decisions at home. They are busy doing that, and it's a very strong group, Nigerian Governors Forum.
Okay.
Well, that's
impregnable. Are you saying that the organized labor cannot penetrate their strength?
The weapon we have is not as strong as forcing the state governors, but it's going to be done together. It's going to be done together. The political will of the politicians, if it changes, if the politicians begin to see their responsibility as taking good care of workers, we will be able to do that. The tool we have, that weapon we have, is industrial action. And when we are doing that, we are mindful of the effect on the economy. So we don't always do it. We do it as the last resort. And today, I think it's going to change. It's going to change. That's what I think.
Okay, that's some sort of prayer.
Now that he spoke about the governors forum, they had a meeting over the weekend. All right, it was in the news. They had a meeting, and they came to the conclusion that each state will pay the workers according to what they are able to generate. Now the NLC and the TUC have also come out to say that it's not acceptable, that they must pay the 615,000 naira, which that's the amount that we are talking about at this point. Now, do you see a situation where all the states, irrespective of how much they are able to generate, because it's obvious that some states are able to make more money than some, what about those who are not able to meet up to that? What are they to do?
Well, I told you earlier that before 1992, it was the same everywhere. So how was it possible then? States, the states that can get the least is considered in deciding what to be the minimum wage. We've looked at the states. There are states who are bigger, and there are states who also have bigger responsibilities to take care of. They don't have equal resources, and they don't have equal responsibilities. But it's pegged at the minimum that can be shouldered by the least state in terms of revenue generation and what they receive as allocations. That's what the NLC considers. NLC is considerate of all the variables that are there. So that's what we are saying. They should be sincere with themselves that it always had been like that in the past. Nothing changed. It was the military that changed it. And you know what it means when we say military and administration. The only thing that has made it to be sustained till now, this dichotomy, is, as I said earlier, the sweetness, as it were, accruable to the governors, because now that they are allowed go home and take decision on yourself, for yourselves on what you do for the workers. That was what the then administration of General IBB Babangida, that was his style then, and they continued enjoying it until it transited into the civilian administration today. Sincerely, they should have changed to make the difference between the military and the civilians, as far as governance is concerned. It's not supposed to remain till now. If you look at it, there are so many things the governors can do to accommodate what is being demanded by workers. The cost of governance, they know. It is very clear that it's too high. The multiplicity of positions, political positions, and even the humongous remunerations attached to these positions. Something can be done about it, and you accommodate the workers. Today, politicians are even trying to be asking for those things that are naturally due to the workers, the civil servants, like pensions and even gratuities. Politicians that stay for just like 4 years, 8 years or so are now looking for remunerations that are supposed originally to be due to civil servants. So you can see it. So there are so many things to be done to accommodate the workers the little they are asking for. They are not asking for so much.
No, I will ask you this question. Are all the organized level, various unions under organized level agreeable to this humongous amount? It is actually huge, a far cry from what we have on ground.
Yes, it is.
Every one of you agreed to this 615,000.
Yes, it's an agreement by everybody, even the two congresses,
TUC
and the NLC have this agreement. And if these are the two umbrellas we use, and they present what they gathered from the grassroots of the unions and push forth to the national space where things are discussed this way.
All right. Any 615,000 naira would be something workers can't wait to have. Judging by how things are going, how soon do you think this can be implemented?
First of all, I think that one behoves the federal government, especially the committee. They are representatives in the committee. Because it's supposed, as agreed by the federal government, minimum wage is supposed to commence this month, May.
The 615,000 naira?
Yes, whatever is agreed.
Yes, whatever is agreed, because this negotiation started last year, and the government agreed that by April, May, that the new minimum wage should commence for workers. And that's why they started this what is it called, wage
award.
Wage award, and that I've been targeting that after like 5 months, 6 months, they will transit into the minimum wage regime.
Okay, because I was also going to ask you the body language of the government. We will first of all know what they are saying when from the moment the NLC or the organized level made it public that they are proposing 615,000. I know that sometime in 2023, just from the time that we had the subsidy removed, we started hearing something in the neighborhood of 200,000, and how it skyrocketed to 615,000 naira. And what the government will be looking at, I know you guys interface with them. What are they saying? What do you think will be the outcome of your agitation?
Naturally, the government wouldn't want to pay much. They would want the labor to even accept 100,000 naira minimum wage. So, naturally, people don't want to spend much money. The less they spend, the more comfortable they will see themselves. And to your question is that their body language is wishing that labor will
labor in vain.
No, the labor will come down a little or even very much.
Okay.
Come down very much, but and that is inconsiderate. If they consider the plight of the Nigerian workers and the Nigerian people, they should understand that the workers are not asking for too much. Talking about 615,000 naira minimum wage.
Okay, I will get back to that question that looks like it's not going to be asked or answered. We're still talking about the viability once more. Some states are not equal. We know about all fingers being equal, but we know that there are some that are more equal than the others. We know about this. All animals not being equal. Okay? All animals are equal, but we know that there are animals that are more equal than the others. Now there are states that appear not viable enough to even sustain the current minimum wage as per paying salaries. In these climes, it's part of our thank you messages to governors if they're able to pay salaries. It's a thing here. If any governor is able to consistently pay salaries, we clap for them. I mean, it has become even a campaign promise. if I'm going for a second term, I'll be talking about my ability to pay salary when during my first tenure. So you see that some states are struggling to pay salaries with 30,000 naira as minimum wage. What do we have if we begin to look at 615,000 naira? I'm asking you again, do you see it as workable that all the 36 states in Nigeria will pay 615,000 naira, assuming it's adopted?
So let me start by responding to the aphorism. All
Okay.
animals are equal,
Okay.
but some are more equal than the others. Yes, it is true that all fingers are not equal. But you see, take for instance, you belong to one organization. We have different financial capacities of the members. Not if they are 20, not all of them are the same thing financially or economically. But if there are responsibilities for the members and there is a levy, so none of them will say that because the other man is bigger than me economically, that
He should
I'm
pay more.
not going to pay what he pays. So it is binding on you to do that. And another thing, just as I said earlier, in the labor's consideration, we took care of the fact that there are some states who are economically low, even from IGR and what is due to them from the federation account. And that was what brought the peg to 615,000.
It should have been what?
It should have been
1 million
some states who are big paying 1 million naira, some 800,000 naira, and that on that road it goes to that list state that we pay 615,000 naira. Then because they are equal states, they are all states, so we took care of that list states that can pay, and that is 615,000 naira.
And you look at all of these states, you think everyone can pay 615,000.
That is if the list can pay 615,000 naira. From what we've from our research so far, that is possible. We know what, especially from the federation account and the IGR potentials of the various states. The least state we considered can pay 615,000 naira comfortably and sincerely if they want.
Looks like what we'll be having governors who are just paying salaries with no infrastructure, no development.
No, there are this in the funds coming to states are partitioned. There are ones for capital projects. There are one for the what is it called the expenditure that is not for capital projects. So that's the one the way we are considering it. You know, sometimes the governors confuse the two aspects. You understand that workers, we are doing road, we are doing that. The one that is meant for the workers is not the one that you use for road construction or whatever. The one for road construction is there.
Thank you very much, Comrade Sam Udekwe, for being with us on the show as a guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sam is a guest today as against the interview.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. He is the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Enugu State Council chairman, and he's been having this discussion with us on the viability of 615,000 naira as minimum wage for Nigerian workers, as proposed by the organized labor. Thank you, sir. Once again.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ngozika, Mbah.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Chioma Agulanna.